Hey everyone, welcome to another art product review. Today we are going to look at the Winsor Newton Cotman brush pen set. This is a relatively new box design from Winsor Newton. So in my review today, I'm going to compare this box with this old box. I'm going to swatch out some colors to let you see the colors that are included. I have already removed the plastic packaging. So these are the 12 colors included. So let me just tear this off. I'll talk more about the colors later on. So this is the new box. Smooth surface on the front, rounded corners, and on the back we can see the individual pen holders, and this area here, this is for the water brush. Let's open this up. First of all, I have to say that I like the new lid because there are 6 wells. In the old box, in the pocket sketcher box, there are only 3 wells. So having more wells is better because you can separate your mixtures so that they don't mix together when you don't want them to. This is the small water brush that is included. So this is a pull-off type of brush, not a screw-on type. And this is, of course, a synthetic brush. The bristles is a bit short. I think this is around size 4. And this is the water capacity, which is not too much. There is no cap included, so this is meant to stay in the box, and there are 2 grooves here. So when you put the brush in the box like this, it will stop the brush from moving, it will stop the bristles from hitting the side of the wall. That's good. I'll fill this up later. Let's take a look at the pens. The Cotman series of watercolor paint from Winsor Newton. By the way, if you do not know, this is the student grade quality from them. They have 2 grades. There's the student, which is Cotman, and then they have the artist grade, which is just called artist watercolor. So let me just unwrap this half pens. One of it fell out. I noticed that they did not use any glue to stick this in the holder. Anyway, when you add water to the pen, it will stick to the base, so no problem at all. I have just unwrapped all the 12 pens. Now when the box is new, the pens, they are a bit loose, so they can actually fall out of the box like this. But that's not a problem because after a few painting sessions, the wet paint will go into the gaps and it will cause the pens, the plastic pens, to stick to the box. So after that, the plastic pens, they will not fall out of the box anymore. In fact, when the paint dries within those gaps, it can be difficult to take out the pen. So usually if I need to remove the pens, I have to use a pen knife to basically cut out the plastic pen. Okay, let me take out one of these pens. The name of the color is written on the side of the pen. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell what color it is just by looking at the pen. The size of Winsor Newton half pens, they are slightly smaller compared to empty half pens that you may find online. The size difference is not very big. I only noticed the size difference when I tried to put the half pen into the pocket sketcher box. You can see that with the half pens, they actually jut out. And the Winsor Newton pens, they sit very nicely in the pocket sketcher box. So it looks a bit weird with some of the pens inside and some of the pens are coming out like this. With the new box, I'm happy to say that this holder here, this is larger and you can fit the empty half pens very nicely inside. What this means is you can refill the half pen with your own tube paints. A 15 ml tube paint can refill this half pen about 7 times, so it can help you save a lot of money. It's best to buy your own tube paints rather than get pen refills like this, which can be quite expensive. I don't like to use water brushes because I find it a bit difficult to control the water flow, and some of the brushes, they do not hold a lot of water. So I prefer to use my own pocket brushes, and let's see if I can fit some of them inside. This is a Da Vinci pocket brush size 8. This is quite a big brush and it can fit inside quite nicely. This is fantastic. This is an Escoda size 6. Size 8 is also around the same size, so you can fit Escoda size 6 and 8 inside. This is Escoda size 10. Size 10 is a bit too big for this box. And because you can fit the Escoda brushes, you can definitely fit smaller brushes like the Rosemary. No problem at all. This is a smaller Da Vinci size 6. No problem at all. The size of this box is quite compact. Not as compact compared to the Pocket Sketcher box, but still very compact and very lightweight. The thing that I really like, as mentioned earlier, is the 6 mixing wells. So even though this box is a bit larger, I actually still prefer this box compared to this box, just because of the mixing wells. And let's compare this to those standard 12 half pan metal boxes. The plastic box is just slightly larger. So this is a very good size to bring around in your bag. When it closes with a nice click. But this is not sealed, so always make sure to dry your box properly before you keep it away, because paint, wet paint is definitely going to leak out. The colors are laid out exactly as shown in the packaging, and here as well. And these are all the colors in the Cotman range, which is not a lot. In the professional artist range, there are a lot more colors. I'm going to start by wetting the pens first, so that the colors can be softer, so that it's easier for me to pick up with a brush, so that I do not damage my brush. Let's start with Payne's Gray. The colors are quite easy to dissolve. So this is Payne's Gray. Let me dilute the color and create a gradated wash here, and try and let the pigment flow down. It seems like the fountain pen ink that I'm using is not totally dry yet. The ink is the Noodler's Bulletproof Black ink, which takes a long time to dry. Next up is Lamp Black. I don't like black and white in a watercolor set because you can always mix your own black. Again, this is really easy to dissolve. The hardened pens, they dissolve so easily, which is a good thing. White is another color that I do not like because it's not really necessary. You have the white of the paper, and if you want to mix lighter color with watercolor, you can always add more water. Chinese white is a bit opaque, so this is very nice. The paint, they dissolve quite easily. This is lemon yellow hue. Alright, this color is not as strong as I expected. This is alizarin crimson hue. Very nice, cool shade of red. This is ultramarine, burnt sienna, yellow ochre. This is very opaque. Sap green. This is not as strong as I expected. Viridian hue. This is really strong. This looks very similar to phthalo green. Turquoise. This is very similar to phthalo blue. I would imagine turquoise to be more greenish, but this is more phthalo blue. And the last color, dioxin violet. Oh, this is really strong. This is nice. The colors are almost dry, so let's take a closer look at them. At first glance, I can tell straight away that these colors, they are not as intense as professional artist grade colors. So some of the colors like lemon yellow, alizarin crimson hue, ultramarine, I don't see that punch, I don't see that intensity. For turquoise, dioxin violet, these are really strong. Viridian, this is a very strong color as well. Yellow ochre, this is nice. Burnt sienna is a bit weak. Sap green is a bit weak. Lamp black, this is good, this is very strong. Pins gray is a bit weak as well. Chinese white, well, I don't really use this color, so nothing much for me to say. For student grade watercolor, I think this quality is fine. It's good enough. You have to consider the price of this box set. With the box and 12 colors, this is selling for US $15 to $20 on Amazon USA. So for US $15, that's the price for some 15 ml tubes that you can get with other brands. So yeah, it's very affordable set. So there is definitely going to be some compromises. But for beginners who want to try out watercolor, who want to see if you like the medium, I think this is quite a good introductory set. The color selection is fine, but there is some limitation. So let's go around the color wheel and talk about each color. So we have a cool yellow here. If we want a warm yellow, we have yellow ochre. If we want an orange, it's a bit difficult to mix a bright orange because we have cool red here, and this is a warm yellow. And we do not have any warm reds as well, so the limitation of this palette would be the lack of warm yellow and warm reds. For blues, we have a cool blue and a warm blue. We have purple. If you want to mix your own purple, you can use ultramarine and alizarin crimson hue, so you can get a very nice vibrant purple. For greens, if you want the yellow green, you can have lemon yellow mixed with turquoise to get that yellow green, more yellowish than this. And let's see, greens, we have that. If you want to mix your own grays, you have burnt sienna and ultramarine. So overall, this I think is a fine selection of colors with the exception of these three colors. Pins gray I think is quite useful because you can use this to quickly do some monochrome coloring or practice your tonal shadings, practice your values. But for lamp black and Chinese white, I personally do not use them as much because I find that they have very limited application. This review will not be complete without showing you the water brush, so I'm going to show you some strokes that you can create with this water brush. Notice how the water and the paint, it doesn't bead up in this mixing well. By beading up, I mean they would separate into small little beads. So this is a very nice mixing well. This is not a very big brush. I would say it's about size 2 or size 4. By the way, I did not feel any water in the reservoir. If you're using a water brush and you have water here and you're using student grade colors, it's going to make the color even more washed out because the water, you have to control the water flow. If the water flows too much, it's going to weaken the intensity of the color, which is not very strong to start with. This water brush, I think it works fine. So this is the thickest stroke you can get. Earlier on, I mentioned that you can fit a size 8 pocket brush. So this is the size of a size 8 brush. You can see how much larger the stroke is compared to the water brush. That noise you hear, that's my baby girl making some noises in the background. Since the water brush doesn't have a cap, if you put it in the holder like this and you put your box in your bag, the water is not dripping out now, but it may drip out, so this is something to take note of. So is this box set worth the money? I would say yes, this is a really nice box. It's very compact, very lightweight. I like the 6 mixing wells, and the colors, the quality is good enough for beginners. Once you use up the colors, you can refill them with professional grade watercolor paint. So this box can last you a long time. The watercolor brush is a bit too small. I prefer to use pocket brushes, those collapsible pocket brushes, and it's good to know that many of those brushes can fit into this holder here. Alright, so that's all for my review today. I hope this is helpful. If you are interested to get this particular box set, you can check out the Amazon affiliate links in the video description below. And if you buy anything through those links, I actually earn some commission. I use the money to get more art supplies to review to feature on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. See you in the next one. Bye.